Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, The Guide. This is Ramesh, Faculty of Biology. Dear students, please subscribe the YouTube channel, The Guide. Please like and share. Okay, dear students, we hope you are listening very well. You are learning very well. Yes? Am I correct? Dear students, today I am going to explain the topic cellular respiration. So already in the previous classes I explained the respiration lesson. In the respiration lesson, different topics I explained. Today in the respiration lesson, today I am going to explain the topic cellular respiration. Okay, dear students. So already just I wanted to recall what is meant by respiration. Oxidation of food materials, especially glucose, fatty acids and proteins to carbon dioxide and water is called respiration. If this respiration takes place in the cell, that is called as cellular respiration. So in the previous chapter you have learned that respiration is a basic life process in which food is oxidized to produce energy. Okay, dear students, so the carbohydrates and fats are giving us energy. Carbohydrates are giving us instant energy. The fats are also giving us energy. So these two are the major components in the food, so which are oxidized to produce energy. So you know already what is oxidized. What is oxidation? If any food substance, if the food substance is combining, if the food substance is chemically combining with oxygen, that is oxidation. So under some special conditions, so there are some amino acids. What are amino acids? So these amino acids are basically divided into two types: essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Once look at the board, all of you. Essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Actually, nearly there are 24 amino acids are present in the nature. So in these amino acids, in these 24 amino acids, 20 amino acids are present in most of our proteins. Based on our food requirements, basing on our food requirements, amino acids have been divided into two types. They are essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids. So there are 9 essential amino acids. They are isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, valine, histidine. So here these 9 are very essential amino acids. So our body cannot synthesize these amino acids. So it is essential that these amino acids should be present in sufficient amounts of our diet. So these are not these essential amino acids cannot synthesize. But in these essential amino acids, histidine is one of the essential amino acid. This histidine amino acid, essential amino acid, is only for infants, not for adults. So actually, in the absence of essential amino acids, for example, if the essential amino acids are absent in our body or in our diet, the growth and development will not be takes properly. So the growth and development not in normal in our body if the essential amino acids are absent. Okay, na? So these are the essential amino acids. So essential amino acids: isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, valine, histidine. So these are the essential amino acids. And next, non-essential amino acids. What are these? Non-essential amino acids. So non-essential amino acids are alanine. What are alanine, arginine, aspartic acid, citrulline, and cysteine, glutamic acid, and glutamine, glycine, so hydroxyproline, proline, serine, and tyrosine. So these are the non-essential amino acids. Dear students, here all these are synthesized in the body. These non-essential amino acids are synthesized in our body. So actually, protein containing foods, different protein containing foods are there. So in all those, meat, milk, eggs are the rich sources of proteins. Meat, milk, eggs are the rich sources of essential amino acids. So these are biologically complete proteins. What we are calling? So what are the essential? What are the biologically complete proteins? So meat, milk, and eggs are the essential. These food items. All these are rich sources of proteins. So that's why we are calling biologically complete proteins. What are the biologically complete proteins? So meat, milk, and eggs. At the same time, incomplete proteins also there. So these are the meat, milk, eggs are the biological complete proteins. At the same time, biologically incomplete proteins also there. So proteins from plant sources. So plant sources means vegetables, grains, fruits, different food items contains lesser amounts of essential amino acids. So these are called biologically incomplete proteins. Okay, clear? So once look at the board. Once read it, all of you. Okay, clear? Yes, these are the about amino acids, essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids. So here, complex molecules need to be converted into simple molecules for oxidation. So here, carbohydrates like starch, cellulose are complex molecules and are made up of several molecules of simple sugars like glucose. So even some common sugar is made up of two different simple sugar molecules like glucose and fructose. So such complex molecules are not oxidized directly to produce energy. But how they can produce? They are first converted to simple sugars like glucose and then they are oxidized. So breaking down of complex carbohydrates to simple sugars like glucose occurs during digestion. So these food materials in the digestive system. So in this process, energy is not released and carbon dioxide and water are not produced. So energy is released from glucose and fatty acids in several stages. So energy is released from glucose and fatty acids in several stages. So here energy is produced only when glucose and fatty acids are transported from digestive system to all the other cells in the body of the animals. So in plants, glucose produced during photosynthesis, you know already. So this is carried to all the cells through the phloem. There are two types of cells. What are those? So xylem and phloem. The xylem and phloem is present in the plants. So these the xylem is transporting water from top to bottom to top. So it is the xylem is supplying water through the stem to the various parts of the plant body. At the same time, the phloem is the source of supplying food to the various parts of the plant body. So in unicellular organisms, there is no digestive system, and glucose and fatty acids are produced in the same place where they are oxidized. So energy is produced. What is energy is produced when the glucose or fatty acids are oxidized. So in the cells, so as this process takes place in the cells, So this is called as cellular respiration. So the energy production takes place when the glucose and fatty acids are oxidized in the cells. So this type of process is called as cellular respiration. So in the cells, glucose or fatty acids are oxidized and energy automatically produced in several stages. So all these stages they require oxygen, while some may not require oxygen to produce energy. Okay, clear? Right? And next, so each of these stages may have one or several reactions. So in each of these reactions, a new product is formed. So in the photosynthesis process, some end products are there: the glucose, oxygen, and little amount of water. So like this way, the product produced in one reaction may be used up in the next reaction. Okay, clear? Have you understood? And another new product may be formed. So therefore, several products are formed before glucose or fatty acids are oxidized. So all these products are produced during the metabolism. They are called metabolic intermediates. So different stages and reactions in which glucose and fatty acids, so all the organisms like glucose and fatty acids and are oxidized, and the intermediates formed, they are similar. Just simply the glucose and fatty acids and oxidized, they are oxidized, and the intermediates formed. So all these are the maybe similar in almost all. They are similar. So all the organisms, microbes and plants and animals, including man. Okay now. So maybe they are in similar all these. So energy is not produced in each and every reaction. So during the oxidation of glucose or fatty acids. Okay, clear? Yes. So small amounts of energy is produced. So that too only in some of these reactions. So this energy is converted to chemical energy. We know already the solar and the photosynthesis process. The solar energy is converted into chemical energy. So on this, and it is stored as the energy is stored as ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So some of the reactions involved in this oxidation, for glucose and fatty acids, so they may require energy. So in such cases, energy present in ATP so is provided to the reaction, and ATP is converted to ATP adenosine triphosphate is converted to ADP. So here ATP is converted into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, adenosine diphosphate. Okay, clear? So this ATP, when this ATP is converted, so actually this ATP is provided to the reaction, and ATP is converted to adenosine diphosphate, ADP. So this ADP is once again converted to ATP. Again, when the ATP is converted to ADP, again this ADP is converted to ATP. Okay, na? So we learned already in the previous class. So oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, na? So here this what is the ATP from the ADP form? No? So this ADP again once again converted to ATP in some other energy produced reaction. Okay, na? So dear students, mitochondria in this cellular respiration, the mitochondria are the sites of cellular respiration. Mitochondria are the cellular respiration. So you have learned already in the earlier classes. Mitochondria are the energy giving you. They will give energy. That's why we are calling powerhouses of the cell. So you have learned in the earlier classes. So that oxygen enters the cells by diffusion. So in the cells, any of the cells, the oxygen and carbon dioxide is impelled and expelled through diffusion method. What is diffusion? So the interlacing of substances by the natural movement of their particles, like gaseous state. Okay, no? So either from blood or from the surroundings inside the cell, mitochondria use this oxygen for respiration and energy production and energy produced. So mitochondria, in general we are calling mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. So mitochondria are absent in the prokaryotes. So prokaryotes, pro means absent, prokaryotes. What are prokaryotes? Pro means absence. What is false or absent? So what absent to karyos? Nucleus. So the round bound clear nucleus is absent in the cells, that is prokaryotic cells. So in which cells doesn't contains a proper nuclear membrane, containing nuclear membrane, that is called prokaryotics. So proper nuclear membrane is absent in that particular cells. So that's what we are calling prokaryotics. And at the same time eukaryotes also there, eukaryotes. So in these eukaryotic cells, the proper round bound nucleus is present in eukaryotic cells. The proper nucleus. So in this the nucleus is absent. In this nucleus is present. Proper nucleus, a round bound nucleus. So the nuclear membrane in these eukaryotic cells, the nuclear membrane is very clear. So that's what we are calling. These are the eukaryotic cells. These are the prokaryotic cells. So these are the differences between prokaryotics and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So in this mitochondria, the mitochondria are absent in prokaryotes. So in prokaryotic cells, mitochondria are absent. So in these organisms, cell membrane takes care of energy production through similar reactions. So actually every cell contains mitochondria. So in that cell, the mitochondria is releasing energy. But in these prokaryotic cells, there is no mitochondria. Then how can the energy release? So the energy releasing is not takes by the mitochondria because of it is absent in the prokaryotes. So who take initiation to produce energy? So in these organisms, cell membrane takes care of energy production through similar reactions. So mitochondria are extremely small and they can be seen with an ordinary, we can't see. So we can't see with an ordinary microscope. But how can we see this? So they can be seen with a special microscope. We can be seen with the help of electronic microscope. So we can see these mitochondria with the help of electronic microscope. So actually there are three types of microscope: simple microscope, compound microscope, electronic microscope. The simple microscope is discovered by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. The compound microscope was discovered by Zacharias Janssen. The electronic microscope discovered by Noel Ruskell. Who is Noel Ruskell? So this is about microscopes. At the same time, so we can't see the mitochondria in the normal microscope, in ordinary microscope. We can see with the help of electronic microscope only. So mitochondria are looking like sac-like structures. Mitochondria are looking like sac-like structures. They are present in the cytoplasm of the cell. Mitochondria are looking like sac-like structures. They are present in cytoplasm in the cells. So now I will draw the diagram, mitochondria diagram. Okay, look at the board, all of you, on slide. Okay students, Look at the board all of you. This is the structure of mitochondria. What is this? Structure of mitochondria. Yes, dear students, actually these mitochondria maybe they are various shapes. So they are looking like thread-like structures. They shapes, mitochondria shapes, thread-like, spherical, and club like a tennis racket. So in this structure of mitochondria have two compartments: inner compartment, outer compartment. So inner compartment, outer compartment. This is this space is outer compartment. So this is inner compartment, outer, inner. So these two compartments, outer compartment to inner compartment. So the substance in the inner compartment, what is the substance in the inner compartment is called matrix. So the substance is present in the inner compartment. This is called as matrix. What is that? The inner compartment substance is called. So this is matrix. What is that? Matrix. So the matrix is surrounded by a membrane called inner membrane of mitochondria. So this matrix is covered by inner membrane. So this is matrix. What is inside matrix? So the matrix is surrounded by inner membrane. What is this membrane? Inner membrane. Okay, clear? So the matrix, what is that? Look at this. Yes, the matrix, the inner membrane surrounded by the matrix is surrounded by a inner membrane called matrix. So that is covered by the inner membrane. So there is a confusion, dear students. Inner compartment to outer compartment. Inner membrane to outer membrane. Here the matrix. So the substance is present in inner compartment, that is the matrix. That matrix is surrounded by inner membrane. The matrix is surrounded by inner membrane. So this is inner membrane. This is the inner membrane. So these folds are crystal. These folds are crystal. So here the point is, this is outer compartment. Inner compartment. The inner compartment contains some substance that is called as matrix. That matrix is covered by the membrane, surrounded by the membrane, inner membrane. What membrane? That is inner membrane. The inner membrane is thrown into several folds called crystal. This is the inner membrane. This inner membrane is looking like they are folding like structure there. So this number of this inner membrane is thrown into several folds. These folds are called as crystal. These folds are called as crystal. Clear? So next the space between. So inside again the inner membrane thrown into several folds. These folds are called crystal. The crystal is extended into the matrix. The crystal is extended into the matrix. The crystal is extended into the matrix. So dear students, the space between folds it contains with the outer compartment. The space between folds, there is a space. There is a space. There is a space. So entire this is outer compartment. What is this? Outer compartment. This is inner compartment. This is outer compartment. Okay, clear? So on the inner membrane protecting into the matrix are large number of particles called elementary particles. So inner membrane, the matrix is protected by the inner membrane. So this inner membrane contains number of particles. They are called elementary particles. What are those? The large number of particles are called elementary particles. So these particles have a spherical head. These particles have a spherical head and stalk. Spherical head and stalk. So they are attached to the inner membrane by their stalk, and the head portion of the particle is the matrix. So this head is attached to the inner membrane with the help of stalk. So this is the inner membrane. This is inner membrane. This is outer membrane. So these elementary particles, they have a head, and these elementary particles are attached to the inner membrane with the help of stalk. So they are attached to the inner membrane. So the outer compartment is surrounded by other membrane. Okay, another membrane, that is the outer membrane is smooth. So here this is inner membrane. So this is outer membrane, the mitochondrial outer surface. The outer membrane is very smooth. So the outer compartment surrounded by outer membrane. So the outer membrane is smooth. So the matrix and the elementary particles in the mitochondria have large number of extents and other required proteins for the respiration and energy production. So finally, the mitochondria, this is the structure of mitochondria. This mitochondria there are two compartments, outer compartment and the inner compartment. So the inner compartment, a substance is present in the inner compartment. There is a substance is present in the inner compartment. So that is the matrix. That matrix is covered by, surrounded by inner membrane. Okay, clear? So in this inner membrane, a large number of particles are present. They are the elementary particles. These elementary particles have a head. They are attached to the inner membrane with the help of stalk. So in between there is the substance is present. The spores. These are the pores. The outer compartment, there is a pores. So these pores are called cristae. Okay, the outer membrane is very smooth. So finally, these are the produce energy. So they required proteins for the respiration, and they produce energy. So finally, we are calling the energy is releasing from this mitochondria. So what are the sources? The mitochondria are the sources of energy. That's why we are calling mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. I think you all are understood, children. So all of you once again listen carefully and follow this channel. Okay, thank you.